They were caught on camera on the night of February 16th. Mysterious lights had appeared in the sky over the 150 acres that Rainer and Edith Shadows call home in the Compass Bluff area of Jackson County. Were they a phenomenon that's simple to explain, or maybe something else? The couple talked with Doug Walker today about their recent close encounter.
The Shadows never tire of looking at the strange images caught by their trail cameras that clear winter night.
We have unusual things around here that happen, but it's usually associated with our grandchildren. But this case, we didn't know what it was. I was looking for a nice buck to be showing up on the trail camera, actually.
7:24, deer appear and all is normal. 7:29, a dim light appears. 7:35, it gets brighter. 7:53, a weird shape appears on the camera. The deer are lit up brightly. But how? The cameras are infrared and don't emit light. 7:56, another sharper light appears. Then it gets much closer, seemingly focused on the deer. It looks like headlights, but well off the ground, and there's no road. Then it flies away. Rainer takes me to the site deep in the woods. These are the trees where the object appeared.
Well, first I was trying to see if there was something, a reason for what we were seeing, but the more we looked at it, the more we realized it was something that was in the air. It was something that I'd never seen before.
Reaction from friends is what you would expect.
Well, actually, they're all just like we were. They're like, what? What is that? Hey, let me look at that again.
Another deer is seen looking at a light that seemingly comes from nowhere.
Well, now whether it's alien, I'm not sure about that, but it's definitely it's UFO. Now, whether it's a government drone or what, I wish if nothing else, one of them would step up and say, yeah, that's ours.
While Rainer and Edith admit they are wondering what this object was, would like to find out, are enlisting the help of friends to try to solve the mystery, they also say it's been quite a bit of fun.
It's a puzzle. It might not be solved, and this one that's, kind of fun. It adds a little flavor to life, I guess you could say.
Flavor and another ingredient tossed in as well.
We just was fascinated over it because of the fact it was right here, and it's real.
In Jackson County, Doug Walker, WLOX News.
And despite the mystery surrounding the lights, the Shadows say they aren't really concerned about their safety and still enjoy the peace and solitude of living on the country. Stay with us, your extended forecast.
Eagle Ford is a hotspot for oil, but over the past few weeks, it's turned into the mothership of UFO sightings.
Some people say they have seen things that make them think there is life out there. Eric Gonzalez went to find out what the objects in the sky are really all about.
If you've been around Cotulla, Texas, then you've probably heard the rumors. Many swear it's become ground zero for unidentified flying objects the past few weeks. Several videos have been posted on YouTube showing sightings in the Cotulla area. This UFO was posted this past Wednesday.
Recently, an awful lot of triangle sightings. That seems to be the big one these days.
John Cross of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is a national organization that investigates unidentified flying objects. So what have people seen the most?
Probably the fireballs. We're not real sure what those are. We think they've switched over to jet-powered drones.
Recently, they investigated this photo that was taken near Cotulla in an oil field area.
There's a lot being made of that photo. Honestly, to us, it looks like a time-lapse of possibly a vehicle going by with a blinker on.
MUFON says they can solve 80 to 90% of the cases they follow, but it's those unsolved 10% cases that excite them.
It was at night, and it was little things jumping around up there. So, yeah, I guess I do believe in them now.
MUFON says California, Texas, and Detroit, Michigan are the hot spots for sightings right now, but they say this UFO is a clear-cut case of an airplane or a drone.
It really doesn't display any unusual flight patterns of any kind. And as you watch the video toward the end, you can clearly see all three of the beacons on the aircraft.
Locals say with no trees and a lot of flat ground, the sky's the limit when it comes to UFOs.
You can see a long distance out here, at night when you're riding up and down 35.
Eric Gonzalez, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
They obviously have a different body configuration than we do, and the little grays, that's the most prevalent one.
He walked on the moon. Tonight, he says, aliens are among us.
Former astronaut Lake Worth resident Edgar Mitchell has raised some eyebrows and ruffled some feathers with his claims.
Tonight, News Channel 5's Tim Malloy goes one-on-one with this true believer.
With his beloved terrier in his lap in his comfortable Lake Worth home, he could be a retired insurance salesman. But take a look at Edgar Mitchell's wall, his photo gallery. That picture taken on the moon, February the 6th, 1971.
What more can an explorer want than to be where humans have never been and to observe, gather your data, go back and tell the people.
Ed Mitchell can captivate you talking about his 9-hour and 17-minute moonwalk. It was a record. But there's something else he'd like you to know.
I don't know how many or where or how they're doing it, but they've been observing us and here for quite some time, and we see these craft all the time.
Ed Mitchell is a straight talker and a true believer that we are not alone.
I believe what I'm saying, and I cite the evidence that I know.
He says that the government he served in the military and as an astronaut is perpetuating cover-ups of alien sightings, going all the way back to the legendary 1947 Roswell incident, an alleged alien spacecraft crash where remains were allegedly recovered.
The reason for the denial was number one, they didn't know if these were hostile and could we protect ourselves from them. Didn't want the Soviets to know, so they devised to lie about it and cover it up.
Mitchell is unbothered by critics who think the guy with the right stuff has taken a wrong turn. He has no doubt there are alien craft observing Earth right now, and many more out there looking for us.
How many civilizations could there be, or do you believe there are out there?
Billions. We got billions and billions of stars in a galaxy, and billions of galaxies, and it doesn't take but a few planets around a few stars to have quite a few civilizations.
Dr. Mitchell is one of only 12 people who have walked on the moon. He says he has never personally seen an alien, but believes the people who say they have.
Uçağı da çek. Harika. Öylesinler. Nerede abi? Işık öbür tarafa gidiyor. Ciddi söylüyorum, ışık bir tarafa gidiyor.
There was a bright full moon, and below the moon was this little bright spot. We didn't know what it was, and we were filming out over the water. There was no structures in the water. There was no oil platforms. There was no ships going by, and we zoomed in. This camera had a 200 millimeter lens and an electronic doubler, so we were able to get very tight on the leading edge of the craft. The craft, you have to realize, is being lit by the moonlight, which is, as I said, a very bright moon. And then right in the front of the craft, there appeared to be 3 windows, viewing ports, whatever you want to call them. And standing in these viewing ports were typical bumper sticker gray aliens. And I saw this, I mean, I looked through the camera myself, and unfortunately we recorded it. That video went to a university in Istanbul and went over extremely intense scrutiny by the Turkish government, and then the video was also sent to the UK and several other countries for analysis. By the time all that had been done, it had already been on the internet and could absolutely not be suppressed from the public. Recently, this year, the video was given to a analyst in Chile, and he did another review of the film, but this time, instead of concentrating on the craft, he concentrated on the occupants. And on my website, alienscalpel.com, you'll see the entire Chilean analysis.
So why should they believe me if I saw UFOs? I saw them. I know it's the truth.
More people coming forward tonight saying they saw strange lights in the skies of Southwest Florida. They believe they witnessed a UFO and say they've got the video to prove it. Four in Your Corner's Mike Mason is here to share what they saw so you can, of course, decide for yourself.
Well, it all began the night of November 10th. Several people in Cape Coral reported seeing strange lights in the sky, and since then more witnesses have contacted Fox 4, claiming they also saw these UFOs. Tonight, we have new video of these mysterious lights that some say are truly out of this world.
Over there. So many.
Witnesses now claiming they saw strange lights in the skies of Southwest Florida on two separate occasions in two different locations.
He said, come here quick, you've got to see this, bring your camera.
Gwen McDaniels and her husband saw the lights last Friday outside of their Fort Myers home just after dark.
There must have been, I want to say 20, maybe there were 15, but it's a whole slew of them in an absolutely straight line. Okay. And they were gliding, just like this, gliding, just like this, gliding smoothly. And then they turned and went south down 41.
McDaniels grabbed her Android and snapped a couple of photos, but for some reason the pictures didn't come out. But last Wednesday, Stephanie Ramos did capture images of something she calls extraordinary.
Where are the other ones? Are the other ones gone?
Look, that's got to be on the news.
My husband and his brother come busting through the door and said there were UFOs outside.
Ramos was visiting her family on Fort Myers Beach, her iPhone recording video of these lights at the southern end of Estero Boulevard.
We just stood on the beach and watched those three lights distance themselves farther and farther away and basically just kind of vanish.
The video shows three lights in the sky above the housetops in a triangular pattern. Then one light disappears and the other two seem to float away into the night sky.
Oh my God.
8 members of the Ramos family witnessed the event. Both they and McDaniels are convinced they saw something from out of this world.
So you're a religious woman.
Yes, I am.
So would you swear on the Bible that you actually saw this?
Absolutely. I would swear in the Bible.
Well, there you go. The Ramos family says they asked officials at Southwest Florida International Airport if there were any air traffic recordings of UFOs last Wednesday. They were told they'd have to file a formal report to request the audio transmissions. We'll, of course, follow up on this and let you know what happens. In the studio, Mike Mason, Fox 4 in your corner.
In San Antonio, well, there have been a couple of different sightings or alleged sightings on 2 different days this week. And Robert Price joins us live to explain what the witnesses think they saw and what the experts think. Robert?
Well, Randy, it was a night just like tonight, Sunday and Monday on the west side and near Leon Valley. Several neighbors reported seeing something strange up in the sky.
What's that? It looked weird.
Irene Trujillo watched in disbelief from her front yard near Castroville Road.
When I saw them, I was looking right here.
She grabbed her phone. Her neighbor grabbed his camera.
I was just like, oh my God, I was just snapping pictures.
Take a look. Bright lights hovering in the sky.
It wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't an airplane, it was just 3 lights.
A day later, miles away near Leon Valley, Sheila Terrell also noticed something strange.
Uh-oh, I got something going on here. I better capture this.
Bright, colorful lights streaking through the sky.
You see how it looked like it's moving though, too? That's the thing.
They weren't like going real fast.
And now it looks like a whole sky full of them.
Both women had the same reaction.
I thought it was a UFO.
That UFOs are communicating.
Not just like unidentified flying objects, like UFOs from another planet. Irene says she's a true believer.
There's some kind of life out there that for some reason they were coming by.
Sheila, however, is slightly worried.
I think it's a scary situation when you got things flying in the sky you can't explain.
Scary, but it was awesome too at the same time because you're like seeing something, you know, not knowing are you going to get zapped.
I still haven't figured it out.
A representative for Joint Base San Antonio says it wasn't any of their aircraft. In fact, they add, it most likely wasn't an aircraft at all.
If it was, that's cool, and if it wasn't, oh well.
Robert Price, News 4 San Antonio. So what does the Air Force think these lights really are? Well, a strong possibility are these. They're called Chinese sky lanterns, basically small hot air balloons made of paper filled with tiny candles. The truth, though, is out there. Reporting live, Robert Price, News 4 San Antonio.
Well, you can call it a close encounter of the Bay Area kind. A triangle of strange lights hovering in the skies over San Francisco. A couple of people whipped out their phones to capture it. That was video taken on the corner of 16th and Valencia, so we sent CBS 5 reporter Linda Yee to find out what was that.
Up there, look at the lights up there, dude.
It was definitely something in the night sky. Enrique Barrios took this video of 7 lights in a line with his cell phone.
Looked like flame, fireballs in the sky.
David Shelley took these pictures as they hovered over him.
Kind of looked like a fiery, floaty thing.
That is super strange.
So what did dance through the sky over San Francisco's Mission District? Even scientists are not so sure.
It's not a planet. It's not a constellation. It's not meteors. It's not the moon.
They're forming a triangle now, dude.
Witnesses said the lights flickered on and off, then took different shapes.
So in the beginning, they kind of looked just like flying candles. And then afterwards, they start making formations, triangular formations.
But there could be a plausible explanation.
It looks to me like it could have been balloons carrying lights.
I am 100% sure this was a UFO.
You do admit that you had a little Christmas cheer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tequila was maybe, an influencer.
Definitely not an alien starship of some sort.
That wouldn't be my first guess, no.
Well, just a few minutes ago, one of our viewers named Heather emailed us and said she swears they're probably paper lanterns because that's what she saw just a few weeks ago at Six Flags Discovery Park. I did check with the FAA. No reports of unusual aircraft flying over the Bay Area this past weekend. So, Ken, do you care to weigh in and maybe guess?
I've known Bing Kwok a long time. He's never been wrong. And Linda, of course you understand that it couldn't be a starship because that travels at warp speed. Everyone knows that.
Whatever. That's science fiction anyway.
Linda Yee in the Mission tonight. Thank you, Linda.
This is News Channel 21 at 6.
Is it a lantern, just a flashing light, or is that something else? Did some people right here in Central Oregon and all across the Northwest really ring in New Year with a UFO? Intriguing. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Matt McDonald.
And I'm Alicia Inns. We got phone calls here about weird flying objects on New Year's Eve. Folks even posted pictures on our Facebook page about this.
Of course, being New Year's Eve, we had to wonder how credible they were at the moment. But it turns out Central Oregon isn't alone in this. People also spotted these bright flashing lights in California and in Medford. Kendra Kent's here now with the story. Kendra?
Alicia and Matt, the couple I spoke with today swear it wasn't a floating lantern or some kind of firework display zipping around outside their Bend home. Now, I also spoke with an aviation instructor at COCC today. He says there's probably a practical explanation. Still, the sighting left many amazed. Millions greeted the new year with the usual. Others say they saw something very unusual.
It would stop and hover and be all shimmery like a forest fire color.
Something they'd never seen before.
That's really weird. Yeah, because you can see all different kinds of lights on it.
This is video Pam Stewart of Bend shot outside her home on New Year's Eve. She describes a floating, flashing light she saw off in the distance. A flying object she says couldn't be a lantern.
And it was moving horizontal, and then just off.
Hundreds of miles away in California, others say they also saw something odd in the night sky.
Both in a diamond or triangle shape. It was weird.
This big illuminated form.
And whatever it was moved up and to the left. It hovered there for probably about 60 seconds.
And back here in Oregon, Eric Whitford took this photo from his Medford home and shared it with us on Facebook. No, this is not fireworks, he writes. This object came in from the left of us and then just stopped. Another appeared and both disappeared. This was really amazing to watch. Could it be a UFO, a drone, a trick of the light? Even aerial experts say that's up in the air.
It's very hard to determine what it could or couldn't be. Probably eliminate meteorites. The concept of a formation of some sort of, flying vehicles, again, airplanes, helicopters, hot air balloons, any of those are possible.
A practical explanation, but what it actually was up in the sky will likely remain a mystery. And many of us can't help but to think of the extraordinary.
Unidentified flying object, you don't know what it is. I would think that there's other life out there, not just us alone.
Not quite as bright as the fireworks, but just as spectacular. And although several people across California reported these sightings, federal authorities said today there has been no unusual flight activity in the area. Kendra Kent, News.
Strange lights appear in the sky, and more tri-staters are asking, what were they? And this is a picture sent to us by Kimberly McCraw. This is what she says she saw outside of her Princeton, Indiana home Thanksgiving night. Brandon Bartlett back from Gibson County now. He joins us with this mystery, Brandon.
Well, David McCraw says she's a skeptic of UFOs, but says she definitely saw something right out of a movie. She grabbed her camera and got them on tape.
So these are like the first ones that I took.
Kimberly McCraw is eager to show anyone the pictures that she took Thanksgiving night in hopes that someone could explain just what she saw in the sky over her home in Princeton.
They just stayed in that one four, all four of them, and they just moved across the sky.
The objects immediately caught McCraw's attention. She even pointed them out to a neighbor who stopped by.
And I was like, what is that? And she kind of turned around and came back, and she's like, that's an airplane. And I said, that is not an airplane.
McCraw says it was just before 7 o'clock when she started seeing these objects rise from the horizon. She says they didn't make a sound, all glowed and changed colors. All were about the same size, and all appeared to just float up into the air.
And they all took the same path, and then sometimes there would be 2, sometimes 4.
In all, she says, there were about 20 to 30 of them that she and her family saw in a period of 10 minutes. And they weren't the only ones to see those strange objects in the sky recently. Some in Henderson and even southern Illinois posted on social media that they saw objects too.
I don't really know what really to think of this.
We took the video to Francis Ridge, a coordinator for the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena. He has experience in investigating these strange sights.
The brightness, speed, rectilinear path, the color, the way they move without bobbing up and down like this, and it would strongly suggest these jack-o'-lantern type balloons.
But Ridge says he can't say for sure what they are. He says they look like a Japanese lantern and says it was definitely not a meteor shower. We want to know, did you see these lights too? If so, we want to know. Just log on to our 14 News Facebook page to let us know. Brandon Bartlett, 14 News.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Kristen. 6:05 now. 17 News received a lot of calls from viewers about a mysterious bright light shining in the sky over Bakersfield for the second straight night. Take a look for yourself. Last night, that light was clearly visible in the southwestern sky. Observers thought it was too bright to be a star, too still to be an aircraft, and it also changed colors. So what was it?
When you look at it through your naked eye, you just see a bright light. But when you look at it through this scope, it pulled everything up. We could see everything. It split, it changed shapes. It was, I don't know what it was.
Amateur astronomer Darren Nunn says he watched the light as it suddenly darted off. A source at Meadows Field told 17 News no pilots have asked about it. So tell us what you think and check out the discussion going on our Facebook page. A lot of people commenting, but no one seems to have a good answer for it yet. Just in time for Halloween?
I know. And
okay. His second term, from looming questions over Benghazi to the war in Afghanistan. Keep it here as our special coverage of Inauguration Weekend continues.
Okay, now rewind that.
President Obama in his second term, from looming questions over Benghazi to the war in Afghanistan. Keep it here as our special coverage of Inauguration Weekend continues.
What is that? What is that?
A mysterious occurrence has taken place near the border between Israel and Lebanon. An illuminated object emerged in the night sky and began to spiral for several minutes, attracting thousands of puzzled onlookers. A similar sight was witnessed in Norway in 2009 and turned out to be a failed missile launch. Well, most experts believe that's what was seen over Israel, despite some people convinced of extraterrestrial activity.
Look at that! You know what, Lair?
What? Oh, look at it.
Oh my gosh! What the heck is that?
That is just weird.
What is that? Look, they joined. Oh my gosh. You get this on camera? Oh, yes.
I'm glad you guys have seen this. I think I should go on.
Oh my god, but look, it's like floating. This is like stuff that they show in the UFO stuff.
Yeah.
And I believe in all of that. Oh my god, look how it's just floating.
That's weird how it was one ball and that split into three.
Yeah. But look how it's just floating. But then look, it goes to, they kind of gravitate towards each other. Oh my god. Angelina, are you watching this? Yeah. They're almost leaving now. Oh, one more now. Oh my gosh. Two. Okay, that was just weird.
Drew, turn your lights off. Drew, turn your lights off. Okay, there's 3 big-ass lights in the sky right now. They're just floating. They're not moving. They're not doing shit. They're just posting. Dude, I wish you can see it better. Can you see it really good on your phone, Brian? No, dude, I can't see nothing. You can see, like, faint lights on my phone.
Get closer to it.
Yeah, we better.
Here, over here.
Well, not just, we should get in the car. All 3 of them?
Yep. Oh my god, alien!
We just got off the freeway at 74 South in Lake Elsinore, California. These lights that just fucking disappeared into the fog. But no, I got them on tape.
Maintain friendships, enhancing the friendships they have. I'm very immersed in it, so is my 14-year-old daughter, Facebook and Twitter, and that's the way that we stay connected with extended family far away. I think it's a great way
now,
to
I don't
enhance
like this word
relationships.
empower. I just think that's one of these like dopey words that people would throw around. But again, I don't go on Facebook. I don't know what you people are doing. How does it empower somebody to go on it? Say you're 13, you go on to Facebook. How does that empower the 13-year-old?
Well, first of all, so many kids are almost shut-ins nowadays. Remember, in our day, when we wanted to go have a play date, we'd walk out the door and go knock on somebody else's door. Today, you've got to arrange it through the mother. Somebody's got to drive you. It's got to be a play date. Well, now you can get a group of kids who can be talking online, exchanging homework information, and feeling connected to the school culture. And not just for adolescents.
I see all those points.
Estoy formando un triángulo. Son 3. Gigante. José fue cuidado. Oh, la weá brígida, weón, la acabó, ¿cierto?
Impresionante.
¿Pero qué será esa weá?
Es impresionante. Esto me mató.
Esa es una nave gigante, mi amor, mira.
Mira cómo se unieron ahora, ¿cacho?
Sí, cacho. Sí, estoy grabando toda la weá. No, cuidado con tu pelo. ¿A cuánto está hoy día? Oh, son 4, mira, ¿cuánto se separan? Son 4, ¿no hay?
Mi viejo Beto se muere. Oh. ¿Estás grabando?
Sí. Oh, no.
Oh, es impresionante.
Madre, la weá acuática.
Escúchame, ¿por qué no le hablas del vecino arriba?
No, tranquilo, aquí te quiero. Por eso estos weas vienen para acá, weón.
Silva, que silva.
Mi amor, mira calla. ¿Cómo tan lentita, weón? ¿Hay gente viniendo? Oh, ahora está acuática esa weá. ¿Cachai la weá que sea en el cielo? Mira. ¿Qué weá esa weá? No son aviones, weón. Mira esas dos como están ahí, mira.
Ellos están grabando.
¿Abajo?
Están grabando.
¿Dónde?
Allá donde estoy pasando.
Cuática la weá. Ya, y ahora ahí nomás, ¿para qué dice que tiene? Escucha, mira, oh, son 4 naves, ya, pues mira, 1, 2, 3. No, esta weá está superando todos los márgenes, ¿sí o no? Y dice, ¿qué hace ahí arriba, weón?
Lanzamos el proyecto de 251
Brígido, brígido.
Toca la cámara. Ah.
Llámala a mi papá.
Andan en mala. ¿Cacha apareció otra más? Oh, andan como 5. Mira, Josefa.
Oh, esa weá es enorme, pero con cuatro.
Son Foo Fighters, ¿sí ven esa weá? Foo Fighters. Mira, cacha, mira, cacha, mira, cacha, mira, 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 mira.
Mira cómo se unen.
Oh. Son caletas, mira, 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 son caletas, weón, mira, ¿cachai? ¿Cómo hacen un círculo? ¿Total lo que me a ir en internet o no?
Sí.
¿Está grabando abajo así?
Sí.
Mira cómo hacen. Oh, mira, mira, mira. Oh, son muchos, weón.
Mira, hay una gigante y alrededor hay más chicas. Puta, ¿por qué se desenfoca la weá?
Was it a UFO, or is there a more down-to-earth explanation for it? A strange sight. Red blinking lights could be seen across Morris County, New Jersey last night. What was it? Here's CBS 2's John Slattery.
This is what was seen last night between 8:30 and 9, photographed by the Hurley family in Whippany.
It was unsettling, for sure, just because you're watching something that you have no idea, you've never seen before, and very strange pattern.
11-year-old Kristen was the first to spot them, a group of 3 lights together and 2 lights together seen in the sky through the trees.
I looked up outside and I was really scared, and I just saw these 5 red lights.
The family went out onto their deck to look at the strange sight. Paul Hurley, a pilot who works at Morristown Airport, says they weren't planes.
I've been in the aviation industry for 20 years and I've never seen anything like this.
The Hurleys weren't the only ones to see the bright lights. At 8:28, the Hanover Township Police received the first of 7 911 calls.
I walked out of my house, it's like these parachutes with these, balloons with these 5 lights flying over it.
Paul Hurley, who called the Morristown Airport Control Tower, says the lights had also been spotted from there, yet they caused no interference with flight operations. Between those officials and the Morristown police, the best guess as to what the lights were, nothing more than a prank, roadside flares attached to helium balloons. Yet they left rather quickly.
It took off. It was very strange.
There's been no report of any debris recovered, and police don't know who released them. The FAA tells CBS 2 News, with the exception of laser lights and weather balloons, there is no regulation on releasing balloons or shining lights into the sky. John Slattery, CBS 2 News.
Now, adding to this UFO mystery, the Hanover Township Police asked air traffic control to try to spot the objects on radar. They were not visible on radar, but those in the control tower, as John just reported, could see them. I love this story.
The mystery continues.
Yeah.
¿Cómo está? A ver si vomita.
Sí.
Well, lights up in the sky aren't really that unusual around the new year.
However, some Cleveland residents say they saw something more than your typical firework display. Eyewitness News reporter Katie McCall joins us live with the story, all new at 6. Katie?
Gina, a Cleveland woman who says she has never before spotted a UFO swears that she saw one hovering in the trees right over US 59. Now, a UFO investigator is looking into whether this was a plane, a helicopter, or something from out of this world.
Just there, like, this.
On December 30th, Lauren Harris was on Highway 59 in Cleveland when a brightly lit cylinder hovering in the sky caused her to pull over.
Strange, like the lights were pulsating on it and it would disappear for a few seconds and it would reappear in the same spot. And then we noticed too that it wasn't moving at all. So we're like, no, that can't be an airplane. And what would a helicopter be doing this late at night over the wood? I think it was a UFO.
The nursing student says she tried to document the encounter.
I phone up like this and I tried taking a picture of it and then I put it back down and it was gone.
But never expected to be taken seriously. To her surprise, Fletcher Gray from MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is investigating.
I have verified over 345 cases.
Gray looks into reports of extraterrestrial vehicles, alien encounters, and aircraft modeled after alien vehicles not acknowledged by the government.
This was verified by 2 independent witnesses. This is a UFO because we don't know if it belongs extraterrestrial or if it's one of our own. Here's a lady that supposedly had a transplant where she'd been abducted. These ETs, or extraterrestrials, are moving from one star system to the next.
Gray believes a Cleveland police officer saw the same thing Harris did, and he's trying to obtain dash cam video. He's also looking into this reported sighting in Houston. His message to UFO observers, don't be afraid to speak up.
Always contact MUFON and to make their reporting sightings, as long as they're credible.
The police chief in Cleveland tells me he is not aware of any such sighting or dash cam video within the department. Gray says that is very common in his line of work and it will not stop his investigation. We're live in Cleveland. Katie McCall, 13 Eyewitness News.
Sacramento man standing in the night sky catches a sudden burst of light through his telescope, and he recorded that strange sight with a smartphone.
Cody Stark shared the video with experts to see if they could solve the mystery.
So the other day I get this message on Facebook. I have something on video no one's ever seen. I had my telescope out, caught an explosion in outer space. Want to see the video? Would I?
Here is the video. Now, it's shot at an iPhone looking through the eyepiece of a telescope, so it's kind of hard to see, so we blew it up.
I don't know if you can see that, but there's something orbiting that planet over there.
Elijah shot the video on December 20th around 5:05 p.m. in Sacramento.
I saw something that I'd never seen before. I saw another object orbiting this, you know, whatever it was up there. And I've never seen anything like that before.
He thought it was a little strange, so he put his phone down, called his nephew, picked up the phone, and shot this second video.
Oh my God, it blew up. What the? Something just blew.
Once again, it's his camera phone shot through a telescope lens, so we zoomed in and we slowed it down.
As soon as I put the camera to the telescope, it just blew up. And I didn't know what to say.
I don't blame him. It certainly looks suspiciously like an explosion.
So I sent the video off to Dr. Stephen Moran. He's the guy that wrote Astrophysics for Dummies. He said, Cody, I don't recognize the explosion as an astronomical phenomenon. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, whatever it was almost never seen by Elijah or anybody else. Not because it's a tiny speck in a big old empty sky, but because of Craigslist.
You almost got rid of that like what?
Almost got rid of it a week before I was trying to sell it on Craigslist, and I was getting offers. And man, you know what? At this time, you know, I'm glad I didn't sell it.
Aliens. Cody said he contacted a Vatican expert about the explosion and was told it could be some sort of light refraction.
Could be. Who knows?
Or aliens.
Or aliens, yeah, that's a possibility.
Qué fantástico. Qué belleza. Es como una araña. Qué belleza. Se me perdió. Ahí arriba. Miren eso. Es una nave preciosa. Es una cosa fantástica. Sí, parece, es como una... Tiene luces hacia los lados y un eje central. Se mueve muy lentamente. Se mueve súper lento, pero parece que está parqueado ahí. Es hermoso. Hemos estado yendo a ver al volcán Tungurahua y ahora nos topamos con esto. Es hermoso.
Em São Paulo tiveram uma noite, digamos assim, intrigante. Vejam só essas imagens. Um objeto luminoso foi visto no céu pelos moradores, que, espantados, ligaram para a polícia. Os agentes foram enviados para o local, mas ficaram apenas observando. Teve gente que jurou estar vendo mesmo um disco voador. Por via das dúvidas, todos resolveram registrar o objeto e colocar.
Calma aí. Ele tá ali. Daí.
É, da outra vez foi na rua aí. Calma.
Tem com material? Não. Mas eu não tenho que arrumar o material. Então eu vou trocar o material.
Oi.
Meu, que coisa louca.
Eu tô aí, Bá. Tá bom. Fica aí, sabe? Qual é a tua manchete? Vamos ver a tua manchete aí, qual é? Eu botei a OVNI de Imbu, pô. 2012. Olha como ele muda. Melhor. A minha manchete é...
¿Qué será? ¿Son más sables o qué? Pero no revolotean ni nada. Se va a cerrar, ¿eso qué será? ¿Serán aves o qué? Pero no veo que le piden. ¿Qué será esto? Y ahí tiene un buen rato ya haciendo eso, un movimiento. Pero nomás, esas palabrotas ahí ya no hagan caso. No hay que hacer caso porque... ¿Qué será esto?
¿Aves o qué? Mira cómo se mueven. Luego hacen una como especie de, como extrañas formaciones y se empiezan a mover hasta casi vienen del poniente hacia el... Oh, caray, no son aves, así no son pájaros, son como unas, tienen una forma bien rara, ¿qué serán? ¿Qué será esto? No, esto no tiene forma de... Esto no tiene forma de aves. ¿Sabe qué es? A ver. No, estos no son aves, no son pájaros.
Minecraft. Yanni, ¿cómo es? Lo que tocó hoy. Decía. Look. Look. My God. Oh my God. Alright. Okay. We need a pack of it.
It's back. Whoever it is. It's a big UFO. Wow. Yeah. It's fucking massive. What the hell? What size is this thing? It's not an aeroplane anyway. It's back. Whoever it is. It's a big UFO. Wow. Check it out. It's fucking massive. What the hell? What size is this thing? It's no an airplane anyway.
Remember those lights in the sky last weekend, noticed by so many at Cape Coral's Coconut Festival? Well, it turns out folks in Florida weren't the only ones seeing the strange sight that most believe were UFOs. As 4 Corners' Kelly Stegeman is finding, calls came in from far and wide.
And you can see the light go. This is a cell phone video another Cape Coral family is now showing us from that now famous Saturday night in the skies over southwest Florida.
It was bright red, and we saw about 15 of them going straight through the sky. I mean, I don't know what it was.
And the director of the National UFO Reporting Center in Washington State tells me by Skype, Cape Coral is not alone.
The reports that came to the National UFO Reporting Center on Saturday night, the 10th of November, were remarkable. They were stunning to me. I really don't think I fully understand the phenomenon that I'm dealing with.
He's compiled reports from across the United States, all from the same night.
Clusters of red, orange, or yellow, or amber fireballs.
The Rebstock family was walking home from the Coconut Festival on this very same Cape Coral road when they looked up to the sky and immediately knew they had to capture this on camera. Where do you think the fireball came from?
I don't know, maybe from someone that was trying to kill a bad guy.
I shared the UFO Center's reports with them, and they say those descriptions in other places matched exactly what they saw. You guys have chills right about now? I do. Now, are you now believers?
It's going to have to get a little more solid than that for me to believe. I don't know.
I think that, you know, it's a possibility. Like I said, I can't rule it out 100%, especially, you know, after, you know, the information that's been presented to me. It kind of seems like that's probably what it is.
If it is real, it is, in my opinion, probably the scientific question of greatest importance before the American people. Namely, are we alone or are we not?
Kelly Stegeman, Fox 4, in your corner.
4 Corner learned just before the newscast there are investigators with the Florida chapter of MUFON investigating these lights right now in Lee County. We'll, of course, let you know what they find. The UFO Center director says if you see something, write it down immediately in detail and then call his hotline. The number we've listed there, 722-3000. Meanwhile, many of you are calling the Fox 4 hotline with your own theories on what was out there in the sky.
I've seen the 3 lights, that's a mothership, and if you look real close, there's a dark triangle or shadow in the 3 lights, and that's where little orbs come from, and then they hover.
They were actually those Chinese lanterns. You light up, and it's like a balloon, and it floats up, and then when they go out, they fall to the ground. That's exactly what they were.
I believe it was the squadron of World War II Avenger aircraft. They've never been found.
I love it. All right, and we still want to hear what you think. Was it a UFO or something else? Call us at 206-FOX4 or you can send us an email at fox4now.com.
La imagen corresponde a un vuelo realizado el miércoles 23 de enero anterior. Observe cómo en pantalla ingresa un objeto que se desplaza rápidamente debajo de la aeronave. El video fue captado por el piloto comercial José Daniel Araya, quien cuenta con más de 500 horas de vuelo.
Llegamos a un vuelo a Coto 47 y vi el amanecer que estaba muy bonito, entonces realmente puse el celular nada más a grabar contra el windshield y a grabar la aproximación, que es algo que hago normalmente, y aparte por el amanecer me pareció buena idea. Lo puse simplemente y seguía asistiendo al capitán y de repente volví a ver a la cámara un poquito y lo vi cuando el objeto terminaba de pasar. Me asomé y no vi nada ya, pero después, como no vi nada, no le presté importancia. Cuando llegué a la casa lo vi y sí vi que había recorrido tamaño pedazo.
Para él la imagen es elocuente y debe prestársele atención.
Parece que sí pasa algo que no es normal, con un color diferente a lo que puede dar un avión y a una velocidad que un avión a esa altura no
Eagle Ford is a hotspot for oil, but over the past few weeks, it's turned into the mothership of UFO sightings.
Some people say they have seen things that make them think there is life out there. Eric Gonzalez went to find out what the objects in the sky are really all about.
If you've been around Cotulla, Texas, then you've probably heard the rumors. Many swear it's become ground zero for unidentified flying objects the past few weeks. Several videos have been posted on YouTube showing sightings in the Cotulla area. This UFO was posted this past Wednesday.
Recently, an awful lot of triangle sightings. That seems to be the big one these days.
John Cross of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is a national organization that investigates unidentified flying objects. So what have people seen the most?
Probably the fireballs. We're not real sure what those are. We think they've switched over to jet-powered drones.
Recently, they investigated this photo that was taken near Cotulla in an oil field area.
There's a lot being made of that photo. Honestly, to us, it looks like a time-lapse of possibly a vehicle going by with a blinker on.
MUFON says they can solve 80 to 90% of the cases they follow, but it's those unsolved 10% cases that excite them.
It was at night, and it was little things jumping around up there. So, yeah, I guess I do believe in them now.
MUFON says California, Texas, and Detroit, Michigan are the hot spots for sightings right now, but they say this UFO is a clear-cut case of an airplane or a drone.
It really doesn't display any unusual flight patterns of any kind. And as you watch the video toward the end, you can clearly see all three of the beacons on the aircraft.
Locals say with no trees and a lot of flat ground, the sky's the limit when it comes to UFO.
And you can see there's several there moving slowly along the sky with tails of fire, as some listeners to BBC Radio have been describing tonight, including one that was speaking to Radio 5 Live. Brian Guthrie described a meteor that he saw in central Scotland.
I was just sitting watching TV, and I have a side window in my front room, and was suddenly aware of this bright colours scorching across the sky. Initially, you think it was like very large fireworks because it was so colourful, and I immediately sort of got out of my chair, looked out the window, saw it heading in a westerly direction, and ran to the back of the house, to the kitchen, left the light off so I could watch this, and it became self-evident. It was something pretty large breaking up in the atmosphere. I've seen shooting stars and meteor showers before, but this was much larger and much more colourful.
Absolutely, you caught me watching it there. It's absolutely incredible stuff, isn't it? And do keep your images and stories and sightings coming into the BBC. Nina Ridge has got the weather.
Several people in Cape Coral reported seeing strange lights in the sky, and since then more witnesses have contacted Fox 4, claiming they also saw these UFOs. Tonight, we have new video of these mysterious lights that some say are truly out of this world.
So many.
Witnesses now claiming they saw strange lights in the skies of southwest Florida on 2 separate occasions in 2 different locations.
He said, come here quick, you've got to see this, bring your camera.
Gwen McDaniels and her husband saw the lights last Friday outside of their Fort Myers home just after dark.
There must have been, I want to say 20, maybe there were 15, but it's a whole slew of them in an absolutely straight line. And they were gliding, just like this, gliding, just like this, gliding smoothly. And then they turned and went south down 41.
McDaniels grabbed her Android and snapped a couple of photos, but for some reason the pictures didn't come out. But last Wednesday, Stephanie Ramos did capture images of something she calls extraordinary.
Where are the other ones? Are the other ones gone?
That's got to be on the news.
My husband and his brother come busting through the door and said there were UFOs outside.
Ramos was visiting her family on Fort Myers Beach, her iPhone recording video of these lights at the southern end of Estero Boulevard.
We just stood on the beach and watched those 3 lights distance themselves farther and farther away and basically just kind of vanish.
The video shows 3 lights in the sky above the housetops in a triangular pattern. Then one light disappears and the other 2 seem to float away into the night sky.
Oh my God.
8 members of the Ramos family witnessed the event. Both they and McDaniels are convinced they saw something from out of this world.
So you're a religious woman?
Yes, I am.
So would you swear on the Bible that you actually saw this?
Absolutely. I would swear on the Bible.
Well, there you go. The Ramos family says they asked officials at Southwest Florida International Airport if there were any air traffic recordings of UFOs last Wednesday. They were told they'd have to file a formal report to request the audio transmissions. We'll, of course, follow up on this and let you know what happens. In the studio, Mike Mason, Fox 4 Near Corner.
Mysterious lights hovering in the skies across several parts of the country. This video is from Indianapolis of a strange formation that appeared this week. Now people in Metro Detroit say they've seen something just like it. Last night our newsroom and our Facebook page got several reports of strange lights in the skies over Metro Detroit. And tonight Fox News' Ron Savage is on a mission to find out what they really are. Ron.
You know how we operate here. We do stories on talkers, and this is a talker. Everybody's talking about it. What are the lights in the sky? Mysterious lights in the sky. Many Metro Detroiters have been wondering, what am I seeing?
It wasn't quite as high as you would see. I've been watching the airplanes tonight, and it wasn't quite as high as them. And I mean, like I said, you could actually see the triangle shape of the object.
David Levy was outside Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. with friends in Flat Rock, and suddenly
we were outside, and up in the sky we saw a triangle-shaped light with, or a triangle-shaped object with about 5 lights flashing, heading north.
Who saw it first, a friend or?
I did, yes.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I asked people, what do you think that is? And everybody was like, I don't know. And then later on at night, I found out that people had been seeing this object all over.
In fact, our Fox 2 Facebook page has been blowing up with hundreds of posts, people seeing lights like Lisa. She writes, I seen some in Southgate, but thought it was fireworks and weird for January. Nick writes, I assumed they were planes. They were flying in the same direction. I watched them for about 10 minutes, and I counted 4 or 5 of them. I'm over in St. Clair Shores. Mario writes, I seen it in East Point, off 9 Mile. It was something crazy. And Sean writes, I was the one who called into the Fox 2 newsroom and first broke this story. They were black, triangle-shaped objects making circles over West Bloomfield and Farmington Hills. There was no noise, and they had bright lights. I'm not making this up, and I know somebody else saw these things. These lights are all over YouTube. The original poster says they were shot in Miami this week. And these lights were said to be shot in Indianapolis. Is this similar to what David saw in Flat Rock?
This kind of looks like it's staying in one spot, but that's exactly what it looked like, except there was 5 of them.
5 lights.
5 lights.
William Konkoleski of the Michigan Mutual UFO Network has also been taking calls from people who see lights at night all across Metro Detroit.
It's very possible that people are seeing military aircraft that they haven't notified us about yet, like the spy planes or also the stealth aircraft that have been flying on our skies now for a few years. It's well known that they were testing these aircraft well before they notified people that they even existed. Now, on top of all that, we have unmanned drones up in the sky, and those things really look strange, especially for somebody that has no idea what they could even be.
And certainly some people may be skeptical when they hear that somebody's reporting lights in the sky, but perhaps there is a logical explanation for some of these light displays. They've been reported all over the country and all around the calendar all year round. It doesn't seem to be a particular time of the year when they're reported more so than others. And across Michigan and Metro Detroit, we're getting reports, and our Facebook page has been blowing up, as you know, recently, Huel, with a lot of people reporting these lights.
Ron, for years, the Air Force conducted an investigation of so-called UFOs. They found no official proof. Any word from the feds tonight about those strange lights?
Well, you wonder if the military's involved, as one of our UFO experts was curious there and mentioned. We did put some calls into Selfridge, the FAA. We didn't get any reaction. Could be a logical explanation for some of these light displays. I'll tell you this, there's no full moon right now, but we're getting an awful lot of reports of lights in the sky, Huel.
Certainly not a weather balloon, Ron. All right, thank you.
That's right.